Hello and welcome to Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Season 38, Episode 14. I got a lot to go over with giving Horacio his flowers, also getting through some odds and ends, and reviewing and previewing what's to come. Without further ado, let's jump in. Now, I want to take some time out to officially congratulate and acknowledge what Horacio has been able to do, and that is winning 5 eliminations in a single season. We're only on episode 14. There's still 15, 16, 17. We don't know when the finals are going to start. It's probably going to be around half of 17 or maybe at the start of 18. We're going to have to wait and see, but there is still time, and he is still part of a rookie pair that could be sent in to officially break the record. And I just want to put this into perspective, how special and major this record is that is being tied / could be broken. This is a record that has stand the test of time since back in season 7 when it was put into place, that it was set by Sarah Grayson in season 7, the gauntlet that happened back in 2003. And then it was tied in season 12, Fresh Meat by Wes and Kaycee, seeing 5 exiles. And that happened back in 2006. And now fast forward to about 26 seasons in between, and we have Horacio tying the record. 26 seasons has passed. 17 years since it was tied back in Fresh Meat. 20 years since it actually became a record in Gauntlet Season 7. Here we are, Horacio doing something that nobody else has been able to do since Fresh Meat, and that is win 5 eliminations in one season. He is such a one-of-a-kind player. We have not seen a player do what he is doing in the game for some time now. I do not, and I repeat, I do not want to see Horacio, even Olivia, some of the other rookies that were on this season just go by the wayside of rookies that are one and done on the challenge. Because I don't want to sit here wondering whatever happened to Olivia, whatever happened to Horacio, the guy who tied a challenge record that stood for 17 years, heck, 20 years without being touched. Where did he go? I don't want to be wondering that in the next season or two. I want to see Horacio come onto the show, bring that level of competition, and see him grow within the show. But we have to wait and see what's going to happen. We have quite a bit of season left on this season, as well as possibly what's going to happen after the season. But what do you think about Horacio winning his 5th elimination this season? How special do you think it is? And do you want to see Horacio for more and more seasons to come? Let me know down in the comments section below. Now, I labeled this section odds and ends because I really didn't know what to call it, but there's some things that stood out to me during this episode that I wanted to talk about. I found that there was a certain randomness to this episode, that little things just kept popping up and kept on sticking with me, especially when I watched it a second time. So I want to go through this. Something that really stuck out to me was TJ saying that, hey, watch out, I could make a house call at any point because we are danger close to the finals. Danger close. I get it. People are going to probably write in the comment section being like, I've watched a ton of your videos where you make up words, you flub. I flub in everything. So this makes me a professional in being able to pick out when people flub words. And when he said danger close, it hit like a spider sense. Now, I will say that I appreciated Fessel when TJ asked, what did I tell you guys the last time you saw me? And Fessel said, we are danger close to the finals. He remembered that. It stuck with him. Now, I will say, speaking of Fessel, he was completely wrong. He was absolutely wrong when they were in the deliberation and Aneesa was talking about Jordan and being like, he was my original partner. I don't know if that's ever going to come back into the game at any point. And Fessel just quickly goes, it won't. Did he really believe that we were going to stick in 2 teams the whole time? That makes no sense thematically. Also, I had a problem with Fessel's advice that he gave to Horacio, saying that, hey, just don't take any losses too personally. You gotta let that roll off your back. Says the guy who was sitting on a kitchen counter crying into his partner's shirt about how he's not feeling like he's doing well enough in the game, that he's not winning as many daily challenges on the season. Use that advice that you gave to Horacio and use it on yourself. Now, the last thing I want to bring up in this section is bananas. And what I find bananas about bananas is that he is the only person left in the game that has not had to compete in the zone. Everybody now at this point, with Kaycee and Kenny now competing against Fessel and Mariah, as well as Jordan and Aneesa down on the zone floor for the redemption game, that Bananas is now the only person left in the game that has not seen an elimination or had to compete down in the zone. Now, one thing that made me eye roll during the episode was Bananas and Nany's emoji talk. They sounded like parents trying to be cool in front of their kids and their friends, being like, oh, kids love emojis, so if I had to talk in emoji, I would use the monocle emoji. Kids love the poop emoji, and then the emoji. It reminded me of the GIF of Steve Buscemi, who was like, hello, fellow kids, and that's exactly what Bananas and Nany was trying to do. Oh, man. And the final thing I want to critique about Bananas is his knowledge of nursery rhymes and nursery stories. Because at one point, he likens TJ to the witch in Hansel and Gretel and says that TJ is dropping breadcrumbs to lure them into a false sense of security. And I had to sit there and go, wait a minute, the witch didn't put breadcrumbs to lure Hansel and Gretel to her house to like cook them. No. The nursery rhyme is that Hansel and Gretel dropped the breadcrumbs because they were going into the woods and wanted to find their way back home. And then all the breadcrumbs got ate by ravens or whatever, and then they found the witch's house that is made of candy. So I was just like confused. Like, he really thought that the nursery rhyme, the kid's storybook, was about a witch putting breadcrumbs to lure children. What is she, working for a salad joint? Maybe an Olive Garden, dropping croutons? But that is all I wanted to say. I don't know if anybody found this interesting, entertaining, or funny. I was just like, there's some things that just kind of really stuck out to me in this particular episode, more so than any other episodes. Just, there's so much going on, and then so little things that were just like plopped everywhere around that I was like, what? That doesn't sound right. I thought that this would be a great time to review the team portion, since that is over with, review the team portion of this season, and then give a preview of the matchup between Jordan and Aneesa versus Kaycee and Kenny, and who I would think maybe has a slight edge on the other. Let's first give a review about the team portion, since that is completely over with. So we have finally moved past the team twist of this season, thank goodness. I think that is a spoiler for how I feel about this team twist. I hated it. I didn't like this team twist at all. I thought that this team twist just really slowed the game almost to a complete halt. There was basically no strategy because everybody was waiting to see what was going to happen during the daily challenges. If a certain team won, you already had your options laid out for you. It was either going to be one of 4 or one of 3 people that you could vote in, and then there was a draw element where you would have to call somebody out. There's really no way to do any strategy at that point. It wasn't fun. It wasn't organic. It didn't add anything to the season. If anything, it detracted from the season. And I think that's what annoys me the most. I think I've read some of the comments from my review and recap from this past week, and I think a lot of people feel this way, that this twist did not enhance the season at all. If anything, it slowed things down to the point where it's easy to see why this twist was implemented, and it was to get more episodes. And then it makes the season feel like it's about quantity over quality, which we want the quality to be higher than the quantity of episodes. If we get a really good season that's 16 episodes, thank you. If we get a really good season, that's 22 episodes. But if we get a season that is mid or lower and it's 22 episodes, it's like, well, could we have like maybe done something different? Now let's get into the preview between Jordan and Aneesa versus Kaycee and Kenny in what we could see from the preview to next week, that they're going to be playing Not So Fast, or a variant of Not So Fast. And they're going to probably be tethered together, kind of like what we saw in Battle of the Seasons 2012. And I think this is going to be interesting. Jordan and Aneesa are both veterans. They have the experience. Aneesa has done this elimination before. Jordan has not, but Jordan knows strategy. After seeing how Kenny has performed in his 2 prior zone showings, he does seem like an anchor. I'm sorry to say, I think he's a nice guy, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to really put the pedal to the metal and pull out this win with Kaycee by his side. I think they can be a lot quicker together comparatively to Jordan and Aneesa together. But again, it's not about speed. It's not about how many times you can go around with the rope around whatever you're trying to put the rope around. It's all about strategy. And I just don't know if Kaycee and Kenny are going to have the strategy and Jordan and Aneesa will have a better strategy. I think both teams really work well together. So it's going to come down to who has the better strategy. And I think I'm going to give the edge to Jordan and Aneesa. But what do you think about this analysis? Let me know down in the comment section below. Who do you got? Do you think Jordan and Aneesa are going to win? Or do you think Kaycee and Kenny are going to win? And what is your review over the team portion of this past season? Do you like the team twist or do you not like the team twist? Let me know that down in the comment section below as well. But now let's get to the comment section. Now, the first comment comes from Sherry, who says, I thought there should have been repercussions for Chauncey failing to complete the challenge. His was the only pair that didn't complete the task, and yet his team went on to win. That doesn't seem right. The winning team should have been the fastest average time with a DQ counting as the maximum time allotted or similar. Yes, yes, and yes. I mean, that's how the challenge has operated, team-based daily challenges since forever, since the dawn of time, that they've always had like a time penalty. I mean, come on now. That just doesn't seem right. That does not seem right. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because at a certain point when I was filming that, I was like, I think I'm getting too heated. I don't know if anybody will care about this whole thing about it's just being the fastest pair, but I'm glad there's a lot of people who felt the way I did in my review and recap about this, where it's like, no, that's not how this is supposed to be ran. So I just want to say thank you so much, because I felt validated going through the comments and everybody was talking about how it did not make sense whatsoever why the Team Daily Challenge came down to the one fastest pair winning it for their whole team. It made no sense. Grimdelin comes in with a comment saying, I loved watching Tori and Jordan on War of the Worlds 2 and Total Madness, true definition of ride or dies. To see them do such a 180 is honestly devastating and not an enjoyable viewer experience at all. I wanted to highlight this comment because I think this was perfectly put. And I just thought that out of all the comments from the past few weeks of talking about the Tori and Jordan, even including my own from going back from even last week's videos talking about the Tori and Jordan stuff and not enjoying the drama that they are bringing to the show and how it's just exhausted. And we're exhausted from listening to it and about it. And I just thought that this was really, really well put. Thank you so much. Next comment comes from Julia, who says, in this episode, both Horacio and Jordan said how close they have become. I would have much rather see those two creating a friendship than all the drama with Tori and Jordan. Yeah, I felt like we were missing something. We're missing some house dynamics, that we're missing friendships that are blossoming. We're missing out on strategy that could be talked about, little pranks that they're going around. Like, we have to be missing something with how much time and effort they're putting into one specific storyline, and we're being funnel fed that one specific storyline. And yeah, I would have liked to have seen, rather than be told about it. The next comment comes from Vaporterra, who says, it was so great that the flagship show acknowledged this record. Maybe one day we'll get Sarah Grayson on All Stars. I can dream. Maybe one day. She was featured in the CRlNGE docu-series about the show and being an underdog. So maybe there's some talks. Maybe we could get like an appearance, a cameo. Maybe she will want to do All Stars one day. One can hope. Brittany comes in with a comment saying, I don't know if anyone caught it, but when TJ was entering the house and everyone was gathering, Fessel said, pick a partner. I think he thought that when they went back into pairs, the ones whose partners went home would be allowed to pick a new partner, and he and Kaycee set themselves up by shedding their ride or dies. Ha ha ha. I did not catch that. I actually read your comment and then I went and rewatched the end of the episode, or middle of the episode, I should say. And I did hear him say, pick a partner. I mean, he did say he wanted to be paired up with Kaycee. He's way closer in friendship than he is with Mariah. So, I mean, that could have been his plan all along. That's why he was like, I don't care if Mariah leaves. I got Kaycee here. And if we have to get into partners, I know she'd pick me and I'd pick her. Well, guess what? That's not how this works. Stephanie comes in with a comment saying, the funniest thing about this episode, Fessel's face when him and Mariah won and he was pretending to be happy to be back on a team with her. He better be happy. He needs to be happy. He needs to make that happy, not be fake, but real, because guess what? Y'all are partners for the rest of your time here. So treat her well and work together, because y'all were really going on a good momentum until you split off, and then Fessel decided to be like, oh, I'm gonna clean break. Clean break, bye, swerve. Jesse comes in with a comment saying, the challenge has overstretched their show. We have had a whole one team go home in 6 episodes. The show has started to reach Big Brother levels of length, where a season is like 40 hours of content. It's just brutal to watch this show move at a snail's pace. 100% agreed. And like I mentioned, if this twist actually added something to the season and enhanced the entertainment value of this season, it would be different. I think we would all be whistling a different tune at this moment, but it just makes it feel that the implementation of the team twist was just to stretch out to get more episodes and to hit an episode mark rather than make the show more entertaining, leading to quantity over quality. And yeah, I completely agree with that, Jesse. Sean comes in with a comment saying, definitely a weak episode, except for the Jordan Horacio elimination. If Jordan and Aneesa comes back in the game, they will continue the storyline with Tori. Oh my gosh. If Kaycee and Kenny comes back, they will be furniture in the house. Oh. So which would you rather want? Kaycee and Kenny / nothing? Jordan and Aneesa? More Tori and Jordan drama. Really in a lose-lose situation, if you ask me. Rodrigo comes in with a comment saying, I'm so happy to see Kaycee finally be in an elimination. I completely agree. It's nice to see her sweat and not just walk her way to the finals. Let's hope Jordan and Aneesa wins. I'm also happy to see Not So Fast again. It's my favorite elimination challenge. I agree. I really like Not So Fast because it tests the competitors on so many different levels, whether you're working in pairs or you're working separately. It comes down to strategy. It comes down to teamwork if you're working in pairs. And I just think it tests you on so many different areas that you need all of them in order to get a win. So I completely agree. I'm so happy that they're doing Not So Fast. I think it's a good kind of equalizer, you know? And the final comment comes from Johnny Talks Sports, who says Horacio has got that dog in him. Or underdog, dogs up. Team underdog, no more. But that is it for Tiny Table Talk. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to hear what you have to say about everything that I mentioned here in this video through all the sections. Let me know anything and everything you thought about this video down in the comments section below. I want to give a special shout out. Thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 38 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.